Hello guys and welcome back to Championship Predictions. We've got some big championship games coming this weekend and myself and Sophie are predicting them. Sophie is currently in Poland. A massive thank you for you joining us today.
Yeah, you're welcome. As I said in the other video, you're crashing my annual leave, but for the good of the channel, I'm still here.
And a like target?
Let's go for 2,000 likes on this one.
Yeah, come on, we could do that, guys. Hit the like button, takes 2 seconds, and your support would be appreciated. We're trying to put in the maximum content, even though Sophie is away and I'm not granting her annual leave. Subscribe as well, get involved with all of that, help this channel grow. We've got loads of content coming in December. And the scores from last time, a pleasant surprise for Sophie. She did beat me in the championship predictions. I tell you what, It was 8-8 going into Sunday, and I had one hand on that 1-1 draw between Derby and Sheffield Wednesday until a 94th minute winner meant Sophie got the 3 points. You must have been delighted with that.
Yeah, so I owe a lot to the Wednesday players and Danny Roll.
There you go, Danny.
It was our singing. It was our singing last time. You heard it.
Yeah, let's get into the predictions for this time, Sophie. We start with Burnley versus Middlesbrough. It's a good match, this, a really good match. Basically, we've got an incredible defence versus a very free-scoring attack. So what is going to happen? One's going to have to cancel out the other, isn't it? I really like Burnley's defence. You cannot turn your nose at 6 goals conceded in 18 games. That's 1 goal every 3 games. That's such a tight defence. Middlesbrough, though, scoring goals for fun. We did say, though, that in that great run of results, they did have that 1-0 defeat to Blackburn. So they are susceptible to going down 1-0. I think Burnley could snatch this 1-0, but let's go for it, Sophie. Let's go for a team to score against Burnley. I'll give Middlesbrough a draw. I'm going to say 1-1. Yeah,
I'm going for a draw as well. And I actually think they might concede a couple, which is a massive compliment to Middlesbrough because Burnley right now are defensively solid. So I think either Burnley edge it 2-1 or it's going to be 2-2. And I'm going for the Desmond, so 2-2.
2-2. There you go. Both going for a couple of goals in that one and both going for a draw. Share your thoughts, guys. Will Burnley just eke out another 1-0 win? Although recently, Sophie, it's turned into 2-0 wins.
Exactly.
They're climbing towards 3-0 wins next. We will see. Next up, we go to Ellen Road as Leeds United take on Derby County. Both sides lost over the weekend. Leeds lost to Blackburn, Sophie, and you got some criticism from some Leeds fans for not backing them to win. You went for a draw, and then they lost. So, thoughts?
Thoughts are, where are those Leeds fans now? I would like an apology in the comments because I only backed you to draw, and you actually went on to lose. So I was actually kind to you, and I still got a lot of stick for that.
Yeah, look, we've got so many Leeds fans that watch the channel and they're great and they're passionate, but we do have a small minority that don't like it if we just dare to back them to draw. I'm not going to this week. I'm backing them to win this one. Leeds 2-0 for me. I'm just a little bit concerned if Derby don't get results at home. I know this one's away, but if they're not getting results at home and they're not getting results away at the minute, they could, slide down the table. I think this could be fairly comfortable for Leeds, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think it was gutting for the Derby players and the Derby fans to lose so late on in that game where you think, okay, we'll get a point from this. And then actually, we're not getting anything. So to then come into this game, which is a very, very difficult game because Leeds are a very good team. I don't know. I am half tempted to say the same scoreline and say 2-0 Leeds. But I feel like there needs to be a bit of a reaction after their last game, losing to Blackburn. So I might chuck in another goal and say 3-0 Leeds.
Yeah, you really fancy Leeds at Ellen Road in particular. This, of course, was that dramatic playoff semi-final a few years ago in the Championship. Derby really could do with not letting this one get away from them embarrassingly, but we are both going for Leeds to win with clean sheets. Next up, Sophie, we go to Hillsborough, where your new favourite team, Sheffield Wednesday, take on Preston North End. Preston are still not winning, but they keep drawing. We backed them to draw against West Brom. You got it right. You said 1-1. I fancy Preston to possibly get a draw here, but I could see Wednesday just sneaking it. And I did go for Wednesday to draw last time, and then they snatched it and proved me wrong. So I wonder if this will be a really close game where a draw would probably be the fair result, but do Wednesday just have one moment and snatch it? I think they could. Wednesday 1-0.
Oh, they're definitely capable of doing it, but I feel like I went for the win last time, you went for the draw. So this time I'm going for the draw because I feel like Preston can be a very difficult team to break down. And as much as I feel like Sheffield Wednesday on their day have got the quality of doing it, right now Preston are just grinding out the points. So I think it could be another 1-1.
There you go. Go for a 1-1 draw. Share your thoughts on that one. Big game between Wednesday and Preston. This is a big game, Sophie, at the Stadium of Light for Sunderland. They take on Stoke City, and Sunderland, Sophie, it's a few games without a win now. They have to win this one. They have to win this one because the teams are getting away from them. They lost to Sheffield United 1-0, as I predicted on the Friday night. But they could have got something. They missed a penalty. Both teams went down to 10, and then they conceded quite late on. I will go for Sunderland just to do it. Stoke weren't great against Burnley, although Burnley have been very good lately. Let's go Sunderland 1, Stoke 0.
Yeah, I'm going for a 1-0 Sunderland win. I think they're just going to edge it. There are a lot of promising signs, bar the scoreline against Sheffield United. I do think they were the better team for the majority of that game. So I feel like they're going to get back to winning ways in this one. So 1-0.
Yeah, they've got to. However they do it, even if it's just 1-0, Sunderland fans, I'm sure you'll agree, just get the win here. Right, next up, Soph, what do we make of this? We go down to South Wales as Cardiff City take on Watford. Watford have been great this season, Sophie. They're still hanging around in that top 6. It was only a 0-0 draw against QPR last time, though. I do like them more at home, but I certainly think they can get something on the road here. But Cardiff were pretty good at Coventry and could have won, really, with that late penalty. The Cardiff fans were not impressed with that.
Should have won. No.
I'm going to go for a draw. I think Cardiff having the home advantage maybe equals this one out, whereas if it was at Vicarage Road, I might lean towards Watford. I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay, I'm going to say 0-0 for this one, actually. I think they might cancel each other out. Yeah, obviously, we've just seen Cardiff play against Coventry. I think a lot of their fans will feel slightly aggrieved with the penalty call to then not walk away with all 3 points because second half, by far the better team. Watford, as you've mentioned, I do fancy them more at home and they don't concede many at home. That's why I feel like they might just cancel each other out. So 0-0 for me.
0-0, there you go. Yeah, we don't go for 0-0s very often, and they do pop up. So yeah, fair enough.
Occasionally,
Next up, so difficult this. Hull City take on Blackburn, and Hull City need a new manager. Will they get that done this week? We've mentioned how it could be Mark Robins, but does Mark Robins want a bit of time before he goes in there, possibly? Either way, Hull City didn't turn their fortunes around. It was a difficult game at Middlesbrough, but they lost 3-1. They take on Blackburn, Sophie, and Blackburn back on track. Great win against Leeds, and I just really like John Eustace. I think they've got a really good setup there, and I think they were massively underrated by people like ourselves at the start of this season. So yeah, I'm going for Blackburn here. Hull 1, Blackburn 2.
I'm going to say 2-0 Blackburn. I think they're capable of keeping a clean sheet again. They did it against Leeds, so why can't they do it against Hull, who are really struggling at the moment? I know it's difficult because they don't have a manager as we speak, but Blackburn, they have seemed to turn it around a little bit. And yeah, it's weird because obviously we do have a bit of a soft spot for Eustace, so you are backing him. And there was a lot of stick for one of the Leeds players after the game who criticised the way Blackburn played and said, teams like this will, play like this. And you think, no, give them some credit. They've just beat you. At least give them a little bit of credit, but there was nothing there. So I think salty. They're going to back it up. Yeah. Very salty. Yeah, a little bit bitter. So yeah, I think they're going to back it up with another one and a big clean sheet. So 2-0.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Share your thoughts, Hull City and Blackburn fans. Next up, we go to Kenilworth Road as Luton Town take on Swansea City. To me, Sophie, every time I watch Rob Edwards' post-match interviews, they all look the same. He's kind of running out of answers here. Luton are not really improving. They're getting a couple of results here and there, but they're losing a lot of games. They lost 4-2 to Norwich. They lost 3-0 to Leeds. This one, on paper, you'd think they might get something from, but Swansea have been better recently in terms of goal scoring, so I might just go for Swansea. I'm going to go Luton 1, Swansea 2.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I just feel like Rob Edwards needs to get something from this team. So I'm not going to go all 3 points because I, I do think Swansea might be slight favourites in this one, but I'm going to go down the middle. I'm going to say 1-1. But if any team, I'd slightly edge Swansea to do it so I can see why you back them.
Yeah, no, I think with Swansea, it wouldn't surprise me if they go 2-0 up, Luton pull one back, and then it just sort of stays 2-1 or something.
Yeah.
Swansea
Yeah.
win quite a few away games in that fashion. Right, Sophie, we've got to do it. We've got to talk about Coventry. Let's go to the Den as Millwall take on Coventry, and Frank Lampard's Coventry, who are undefeated in our new reign. This will be interesting. Frank Lampard is not going to be universally popular at Millwall, being a West Ham player, of course. And Edwards is returning to Millwall. Of course, he was the manager there, wasn't he? I don't know what to say here, Sophie. When we look at these two, Millwall tend to win 1-0 or draw 1-1. Coventry always concede 2 goals. We always concede 2. We can score, but we always concede 2. I'm nervous about this one, Sophie, and I'm nervous about the game afterwards as well, West Brom away. If Coventry get a draw, I would be relatively happy. If we get a win,
I would, yeah.
That could really lift the spirits around this place, but I make Millwall favourites. I think I'll go with my heart a little bit and say Coventry could get a draw. I'm going to go 1-1, but not totally confident.
See, I love that. I should get some stick from Coventry fans here because I'm going against my own team, which I hate doing. But right now, the way Millwall defend and they just see out games, and we are quite immature in that way. We concede early from kick-off both halves, which are just rookie errors. So I still think it's early days for Frank, so I'm not putting this on him. But right now, the players don't look interested. So if we turn up like we did against Cardiff, we'll get beat like 3-4-0. So I'm hoping we put in a slightly better performance. That's what I want to see. But I still see us losing. So 2-0 Millwall. Oh, it hurts saying that. Yeah.
There you go. Look, we've said we're both going to give Frank Lampard a chance. And by a chance, we mean quite a few games before we make a proper judgment. It's the players that are annoying me, though. They've been dreadful. Exactly. Honestly, just grow up and stick a foot in and stop being scared to challenge, because Millwall are a physical team. And if we don't turn up for this, I think your prediction could be right. Right, the next one, Sophie. Plymouth take on Oxford, 2 teams that are not doing great at the minute. 2 teams that we prefer at home, and Plymouth have the home advantage. But Plymouth have been dreadful recently. They've conceded 10 in the last 2 games. But they have both been away from home. So I think it'd be typical if Plymouth go back to winning ways now they're at home. Oxford managed a 1-1 draw against Millwall. That was a decent result. I think if Oxford get out of here with a draw, that's not bad for them. But do you know what? I reckon Plymouth might snatch it. It's really hard, this one, because they're both not in good form. Plymouth 2-1.
That's so weird that you're going for that, because I feel like Plymouth might turn up in this one.
Yeah.
Which is going to seem incredibly harsh on Oxford, but it'd just be typical Plymouth to concede a boatload of goals and then to win at home. So, yeah, I'm going to go for the same scoreline. I'm going to say 2-1 Plymouth, but I just don't know. It seems crazy backing them after the last few results, but being at home, you need a bit of a reaction. Stop conceding so many goals. That is just shocking. But yeah, I think it could be a bit of a surprise win for Plymouth.
Yeah, it's difficult, this one, isn't it? I don't really know who comes into this as favourites. I think Plymouth maybe with the home advantage. A massive game, though, Sophie, because a lot of people think these 2 could be 2 that go down. So the winner of this will certainly feel some sense of relief. I'm going for Plymouth. You're going for Plymouth. Next up, we go to Fratton Park as Portsmouth take on Bristol City. This is an interesting one, Sophie. Portsmouth managed a 2-2 draw at Swansea last time, which was a good result, considering they're not played in a few weeks. It was away from home. Baby steps, I guess, for Portsmouth, but they need their next win. Can they get it against Bristol City, Sophie, who just smashed Plymouth 4-0? Bristol City are going to be obviously full of confidence after that. But it's at Fratton Park. I think I'm going to go for another Desmond for Portsmouth. I'm going to go 2-2 here.
Yeah, I do fancy Portsmouth to get a draw at home. Just want to mention their keeper has been absolutely unreal this season.
Did you see the goalmouth scramble in that game?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But he was unreal like all game, and then that you're just like, wow, how hasn't that gone in? Equally, I was a little bit annoyed with Bristol City because I backed them to win 3-0 and they decided to score another one, which they just didn't need to do. So, do I punish them now with a draw? No, I'm going to say Bristol City just edge it 2-1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just go for Bristol City.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? Because Portsmouth will be fairly pleased with the draw at Swansea, even though they kind of dropped points because they were leading. But Bristol City, yeah, full of confidence. I don't know. I think it'd be a good game at Fratton Park. The next one, Sophie, is in West London as QPR take on Norwich City. Norwich back on track. A couple of good results for them. They have scored 10 in the last 2 games, with 4 against Luton and 6 against Plymouth. They are away from home here, and what sometimes happens with Norwich after a couple of really good results is they have a dud, and it's just like they get a randomly bad result. And QPR have improved lately. A couple of clean sheets with that 2-0 win away at Cardiff and that 0-0 draw away at Watford. I'm going to be bold and say 1-0 to QPR.
Oh, that is bold. I thought you were going to say I'm going to go bold and then say a draw. And I was going to be like, oh, well, I'm going bold as well. But I think Norwich are capable of getting a draw against QPR more so, especially if they were at home as well. I'd probably say like 2 or 3-0 to Norwich. But QPR are grinding out the points. They might have slightly turned a corner. I know a point isn't massive, but it's against Norwich, who are a very, very good team on their day. So I am going to go down the middle on this one, and I'm saying both team leave with the points. So 1-1.
1-1. Okay, interesting. Yeah, share your thoughts on that one. And then the final game, Sophie, this one's interesting as we go to the Hawthorns. It's West Bromwich Albion versus Sheffield United. I always think this is a good matchup. 2 of the better Championship teams. This was the Battle of Bramall Lane back in like 2001 when Sheffield United decided to get a load of red cards and try and kill all the West Brom players. I think Sheffield United could snatch this because they've been really good lately. But West Brom keep drawing and they've got a good defence. Yeah. So I'm going to go 0-0 in this one because although I really like Sheffield United, I just think West Brom can cancel out against good teams. And I don't know. I mean, West Brom, they'll be frustrated that they're not winning many games at the moment. But as long as they're not losing, they're not... It's weird, isn't it? It's when you've drawn so many. How do you feel about it? So many draws,
though. Yeah.
Some of them have been decent draws. They've taken decent draws off some teams, but there has been some draws where they're like, could have won that one. West Brom have got Coventry after this, so I'm sure they'll win that one. But yeah, I'm going 0-0.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. I think a draw is a pretty safe bet. If Sheffield United were at home, they don't concede many at all there. So I'd probably go for a 0-0 at their place. But with it being at the Hawthorns, I think maybe there might be a goal apiece. What I will say is I wouldn't be that surprised if Sheffield United possibly put in a bit of a poor performance. They will be without Suter though. But they can put in a poor performance or a semi-poor performance and still get the 3 points. And that is the sign of a good team, that even despite poor performances, they get maximum points. So yeah, I wouldn't be that surprised if they won. But as I say, I think it's a really safe bet to just back West Brom to get a draw. So I'll go 1-1.
Yeah, I think part of my reason for a 0-0 is I really like the keepers in this one. Michael Cooper in particular for Sheffield United. We've said that we like him. And there you go. That wraps up our predictions for another week. Quite a few draws in there, but there has been quite a few draws in the Championship recently. So do share your predictions in the comments, guys. Let us know what you are thinking. As always, make sure you've supported us. Hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds and it is massively appreciated. If you subscribe as well, then you are a legend. So get involved with that. And it really is appreciated. Obviously, we're putting in quite a lot of hard work. And thank you once again, Sophie, for recording with me, even though you're in Poland.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Cheers. I'll see you when you get back from holiday. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out.